You were born between 240 and 245 AD in a place called Moesia, basically the ancient, gritty version of the Balkans, a cold, harsh land where people might stab you faster than they say hello. Your father is a Roman soldier, a hard ass who probably yells just for the practice. Your mother isn't Roman, she's Thracian. This means you don't understand half of what she says, and she spends her nights kneeling in a dark room, muttering things that mean she's either very religious or she's summoning something. But hey, family's family. See those men standing on the towers? They've been staring into the void for hours. They're guarding the Kanabe, your neighborhood, your home. Right next to those towers is a Roman fort full of soldiers, including your father. Every morning you wake up to shouting, the clanging of iron, and the sound of 200 men acting like war is going to start in 10 minutes. The problem is, it actually might. This is Moesia. You don't know it yet, but living here is like playing life on maximum difficulty. If the soldiers slip up, entire families, including yours, could be wiped out. Yes, you were born in a war zone, but you have one advantage. You're a Roman citizen. In this era, that's like a VIP card. Moesia isn't some quiet town in the middle of nowhere. It's Rome's human shield. The moment someone decides to knock on the empire's door, you're the first to get hit. At 10 years old, you and your friends are running through the mud with wooden swords, screaming too loud and getting dirt in places dirt should never be. Meanwhile, your father is doing the same thing for real, until the game isn't a game anymore. As soon as you can run without falling on your face, you're recruited into a training camp for kids. They call it the Reserve, just in case the barbarians decide to burn the place down suddenly. Plus, it prepares you for military service. Lucky you. The training is pure torture, running miles with a heavy pack strapped to your back while a sweaty centurion screams at you to keep going. By sunset, you're praying to actually pass out, but the fun never ends. You're a Roman boy, which means Latin lessons, and the teacher? Surprise, it's your dad. The same guy who was screaming at recruits all day now gets to scream at you. You'd rather die than hear one more lecture on grammar and conjugations. And if you even think about nodding off, you remember the pain of the last time, so you force yourself to stay awake. You eventually learn to speak Latin without butchering the sentences, and more importantly, you learn to throw a spear without looking like a lost chicken. Now you've become a service boy for the stinking men with swords. You clean armor that smells like death and sweat, and you deliver messages like a stressed-out human carrier pigeon. By the way, you don't get paid. You're a teenage intern in ancient Rome. Before, your only worry was training. Now you think more, work harder, and stress constantly. You turn 15, and suddenly Rome is collapsing. News reaches the camp that Emperor Valerian himself has been captured by the Persians. This isn't just a defeat, it's a what the hell is happening moment. It's never happened before. What follows is total chaos. Rome splits into 3 empires, like a group project that failed catastrophically. Prices go crazy, the system breaks down, and the soldiers, including your father, stop getting paid. Why? No one even knows who's in charge of the payroll anymore. You used to eat meat and porridge. Now it's stale bread and boiled millet if you're lucky. Your father's broke, food is expensive, and everyone is pretending things are fine while they're collapsing inside. As the empire disintegrates around you, you hit your first Roman-style existential crisis. You stare at the walls and ask, is this it? Bread, training, and disappointment? You have only one choice, the army. Not because it's your dream, but because there's literally nothing else. You have no skills and no money for an education. Running to Rome is a joke. You'd be robbed or killed before you even got there. Besides, everyone expects it of you. Protect Rome like your father. You look at your father, unpaid, exhausted, dead inside, and think, how inspiring. But in the end, you sign up. You're 17 when they enlist you. You swear a sacred oath to obey Rome unto death, which might come as early as next week. In exchange, you get a sword older than you are and a shield that smells like someone else's failure. Congratulations, you're officially in the auxiliaries, just like your father. A few days later, your first mission arrives. With 0 real experience, they tell you to gear up and march straight into enemy territory. Apparently, when Rome has a soldier shortage, the genius solution is to send untrained teenagers into danger. The march is agony. Your feet are destroyed, your back is broken, and you start questioning every life decision you've ever made. When you arrive, there isn't even time to limp. It's straight to work, digging trenches like a human shovel and burying dead soldiers. Life in the fort is soul-crushing, but the only thing keeping you from breaking is your friends. A bunch of miserable guys just like you. You eat together, suffer together, and joke around before collapsing from exhaustion. That bond, "I've got your back," is the only reason you haven't cracked yet. A foggy morning, while on patrol, you see movement in the mist. You nudge your friend. "You see that?" He looks and says, "Yeah, Goths, and they didn't come to make friends." Panic hits. You sound the alarm. The Goths charge, and you lock shields and hold the line. For a few minutes, you succeed. Then their reinforcements arrive. Suddenly, it's not a battle, it's a massacre. Your friends fall, your commander is gutted, the fort is on fire. The air is smoke, blood, and ash. Some soldiers run, but running just makes them easier targets. You fight. You kill many Goths, but not enough. You're soaked in blood, barely standing, and completely outnumbered. You see your friends half buried in the mud. They died for a collapsing empire ruled by cowards who love marble, eat grapes, and pretend to care. If they're lucky, they get a wooden marker. If not, they just become part of the dirt. You refuse to die like that. You rally the survivors, you scream, you force them back into formation, and somehow you push the Goths back. There are no congratulations, just corpses and silence. You survived your first real battle, but the price was horrific. The commanders notice and promote you to Optio, assistant commander. Now you give orders instead of just following them. All you had to do was watch your friends die to get a new title. You get a pay raise on paper, though Rome still owes your father money. The upside is you're not always on the front line. It's a bit safer. But while you're trying to process the trauma, Rome falls apart again. The empire is divided and regions are stabbing each other in the back. Then a man appears, Aurelian, a powerful cavalry commander who declares himself emperor. You respect him. When he asks the Danube armies to reunite Rome by force, you don't hesitate. He goes on to crush Palmyra and then enters a war with the Gallic Empire in long, bloody battles, the kind that break men from the inside. In the middle of this chaos, you and a small detachment are sent ahead to hold an important road. A simple mission, blocked away. But suddenly, everything flips. An ambush. Gallic forces hit fast and hard. Before you can even process it, half your men are dead. Supplies are lost, and your blood is leaking onto the rocks. You think, is this the end of the road? Is this it? But somehow you manage to crawl back to camp. The moment the doctors see you, their look says it all. You are no longer fit for service. The decision is made. Discharge. You try to protest, of course, because being a soldier isn't just a job to you. It's your identity, your whole life. You are a Roman soldier. It's SHIELD. But to the high command, it's simpler. Injured means useless. They hand you your discharge papers, a bit of land, and forced retirement. Just like that, everything that came before is ended with a stroke of a pen.